Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. This is Mr. Ramadan Fraya from Muhammad ibn Abdullah Secondary School for Boys, and this is Cluster B Advanced English Lessons for Grade 12 Advanced. Okay, let's start. We are welcoming you to Cluster B Grade 12 Advanced, and this is by Mr. Ramadan Fraya. Let's start first with the objective we are dealing with today. Our objectives today are introduce the persuasive and argumentative idea, that's cluster B ideas, discuss ways of persuasion used in advertisements, for example, scan a persuasive passage to answer the given questions that we will see in the passage. Okay, first we'll have an idea about this cluster. Cluster B, as you know, all clusters are divided into ideas. Cluster B is designed to deal with persuasive ideas, argumentative ideas, and functional ones. And today we are dealing exactly with this first one, the persuasive ideas, and we'll see how to persuade people and what techniques we will use to make people convinced with our ideas. First, what is persuasion and how to persuade people to do something, and what techniques we are using. And first we have two things in this slide. We have what is persuasion, and then we'll move to the persuasion techniques used in our book. First, persuasion is all around you. It's in everything, and advertisements are one of the things that used persuasion very much. Okay, look at this. Can you hear me now? This is about listening. You listen to persuasion everywhere, and also you see persuasion everywhere, in everything around you. We'll have some ideas about this. Look, what is persuasion? It's a means of convincing people. Persuade means to convince, to let people believe in your ideas. First, you can try to persuade people to buy a certain product, like advertisements. You can try to persuade people or to convince them to believe something or act in a certain way, or to agree with your point of view. So the idea of persuasion is very clear in these 3 points here. Either to buy a certain product, to believe something or act in a certain way, or just to agree with your point of view. Then here we have common persuasive techniques often used in advertising. As I said before, adverts are one of the most topics that are using techniques. Most of the time they are using these techniques to persuade you to buy some products, like what we will see now. Here, these are the most used persuasive techniques, and it will deal with each one individually. A slogan, repetition, bandwagon, testimonial, and emotional appeal, and using expert opinion. Of course, the one advert do not use all of these techniques at one time, but they can use one or two at a time. And now we will deal with each one individual and see what is there for them. First, slogan. Can you hear me now? It's a catchy phrase or a statement often used to sell a service or a product. As we can see that each famous company in Qatar uses these catchy phrases to advert their products. So can you hear me now? It's just like these catchy phrases, this slogan to say it's I don't know, it may be for company for communication, for phones. And like this, you see the advert and you see the catchy phrase. This is the slogan in their advert. And the more you see that the slogan, the more you think of the company, and it's connected in your mind with the company. So he tries to persuade you, to convince you to use this service. And then we have like this, another one. Repetition. Repetition means you see the advert everywhere, and it's not just one picture of the advertisement, you see it many times, like this. If you see this not just one time, more than 2 or 3 times everywhere, he is repeating this, he is trying to put this, to let it stick in your mind, so he can convince you to buy this product for a headache, I think. Then we have bandwagon. What is it? It's a statement suggested that everyone is using a specific product, so you should too. He gets people to say, everyone, all people are using this kind of shoes or this kind of medicine, so why don't you use it? I'll try to be like everyone. Why I am different? So I am going to use it. So he uses this way to try to convince you, to persuade you that his product is the best. Then we have like this, like the most famous product, and they just do it. This is the people are using this. All even famous people. So I'm going to use it. Then we have this one. It's a well-known person, a famous person, even like stars, singers, and actors, football players and basketball players. They are getting these famous people to support a product or a service. Many people like stars, and they like to act as these stars act, or football players. So when I love a football player or a certain famous actor, and I see him on TV or any kind of mass media, he's using this product or he is using this service. I really want to imitate him. I want to imitate him, to be like him. So what can I do to be like him? I use the same products like him. So in some way I become like him. I am using the same products. So the companies are using this very much to try to convince people to use their products. And then, as you can see, they are using these famous people in their products to attract more customers to their company. Then now we are talking about the persuasive techniques that are used in advertisements. And then we have expert opinion. Experts approve this product, so you should use it. Okay, people like facts and statistics, and they like that knowledgeable people, the people who know. So sometimes they are using dentists to talk about toothbrush. This is the most useful toothbrush to use. This is toothpaste, and they get doctors to talk about smoking, for example. So I believe these people, these expert people, know more than I know. So I like to believe, and I want to believe their ideas. So the companies get these people more than one time to try to convince people that our product is the best one. It's better than any other product in the same field. So why don't you be away and try to make use of it? And look, this famous expert is just using our product, and this famous person is just using our, so why don't you use it? So it's also a kind of persuasion technique. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend sugarless gum for their patients who chew gum. So when you see that 4 of 5, oh, that's 80%, this is the fact. So why don't I use it? Many dentists are using one, are recommending that they know more than me, so I will believe, I will buy this product. Like this. If we have a quick view now at what we have said till now, and we are going to have just an easy worksheet after this. Slogan, repetition, bandwagon, and we have these about six ways to persuade people to buy whatever you are selling. Okay? Then, you must, when you you try to make an advertisement, you try to know who are the people you are making them this advert for. Advertisers know how to target their audience. Okay, like this. Use appropriate persuasive technique. Not all persuasive techniques are suitable all the time. So try to select the one that's suitable for your company or your topic you are trying to persuade people with. And who is the audience? You must know who is the audience. Who are the people you are addressing? Like this. This advert is for children. So it's like cornflakes. So they are using pictures or photos that is related to children. Okay? And this is for older children, not young, and they are using bikes. So he used the persuasive techniques, the photos. This is the audience, the older children, and the purpose is to sell these bikes. Here we have cola. It's a drink, and he used it in sports background. It's in the stadium, and he is addressing the audience in this stadium. And people are saying all the time that the fizz drinks are unhealthy. So he used this one. He put the cola inside a picture that is full of healthy food. He's trying to say, oh, this is cola and it's also healthy. It's like all these foods. He's trying to get the idea of unhealthy food from your mind. And he's trying to persuade you to buy this product. And this is another one, a very famous McDonald's. Yes. So all this was about the persuasive techniques, and what we get from all of this is that persuasion is all around you and everywhere. And in addition to a TV commercial, where else do you see persuasion all around you? You can see persuasion in posters in the streets, you can listen to them in radios, and you can even watch them on the internet. Okay, so this is the persuasive techniques. Here we are moving to the worksheet we are doing together. It's answer, but we are going to see more persuasive techniques using this worksheet. We have what's called rhetorical questions. This worksheet is related to what we are going to write to persuade in our class. We can use them more in our writings, persuasive writings I mean. Rhetorical questions, what is it? It's a question that is asked which makes the reader think. Like, how would you feel if you had 2 hours of homework every night? Like what? If I'm trying to persuade someone to stop smoking, and I'd like to start my essay with a persuasive question, a rhetorical question I mean, I can say, do you know how many people die of smoking each year? Do you know how many dangerous diseases are caused by smoking? Do you know that your family are passive smokers? They are affected without your knowledge. So these three questions are what are rhetorical questions. I am not waiting for an answer. I am not waiting for an answer for these questions. I am trying just to attract the reader's attention. I am trying to tell him, oh, this topic is very dangerous, and I am trying to persuade you, but it's in an indirect way. So one of the newest ways to persuade is using the rhetorical questions. Number two is the repetition, as we have said. What is repetition? Words or phrases are repeated so that they stick in the reader's mind. When I repeat something, it sticks in your mind. Oh, you have heard it for more than 3 or 4 times. For example, remember what it was like to be at school. Remember how much work you had. Here, he repeated the word remember, remember. He is trying to make him remember these facts from the past. He is trying to make the word stick in his mind. Emotive language, and this is a very important way. Emotive comes from the word emotion. He is dealing with your heart, not your brain. So this is a very useful and effective way of convincing, because many people are emotive in their nature. So when you deal with their emotions, you can get what you need. You can easily convince them to do whatever you want. When words are used to make the reader feel a certain emotion, like sadness or anger. For example, we are the poor, helpless children who are forced to do hours and hours of homework every night. So, how he is trying to persuade us in this way? Children are trying to make us feel how sad they are when they are forced to do their homework, even long homework. I don't mean the easy homework. We are the poor. Look at the choose, how we choose word. The poor, helpless. The words poor and helpless are addressing your emotions. They are not addressing your brain or your mind. Who are forced. Even the word forced is using it's not by my willing. It's just I am forced to do. I don't want to do this. I am forced to do hours and hours. Even here he repeated. He uses the other techniques that we said minutes ago. It's about the repetition. Hours and hours of homework every night. Even every night. The word every means it's repeated every day, every night. So it's there all the time. So he is dealing with your emotion. He is trying to tell you, look at us, how helpless we are, and how sad we are to do all this boring homework. Exaggeration, and when this means making things bigger, it's enlarging things more than the real size. When information is given that's over the top or slightly untrue. Sometimes when you exaggerate more than what you really want, it's like to come to be untrue. If I get one more homework, I'm going to move to the moon. The student saying, if you give me just one more homework, I'm going to go out to move to the moon. This means that does not mean he is really going to the moon. No, he is trying to tell you that he is bored and he can move to anywhere. He wants to stop this, whatever cost he got. Then we have facts and statistics. That's one of the best ways to persuade or to convince people to do something. Just give them facts. Facts are facts. They are not changeable. So they are a very good way to persuade people to do something. When truthful information is the truth, is given to back up a point, For instance, it's 95% of pupils feel that there is too much homework. If I read statistics like this, 95% of people feel that there is too much homework. I'm going to believe, if I am believing in statistics and I took it for granted that that is true, so I will believe that, homework is too much for students, I need to reduce the number of homework they get every day. And because from the statistic I know that 95 people, so when I try to persuade people, try to use these ways, especially statistics. For example, if I am going to convince people to about car accidents and that they should slow down or drive slowly when they are on the road, I can say that can use rhetorical questions like, do you know how many accidents happen each year? Or I can say that about 50 people die each week out or because of the car accidents or careless driving. So these statistics or these facts can help a lot in making people believe in what you are saying. The last one here is groups of three. What do we mean by groups of three? When we are describing something or talking about something, do not give just one adjective for this or two. Giving three adjectives will be very, very effective. For example, if I'm saying that Ahmed is a good student, that's not convincing. But if I say Ahmed is clever, helpful, and polite student, I am giving him three qualities. So giving three qualities or three adjectives to something means grouping them in three. When three adjectives or phrases are used to emphasize a point, when I emphasize something with these three words, people tend to believe what you are saying. For example, homework is boring, dull, and uninteresting. I know that the three words are very close in meaning, but they are different. Like boring, a word, and dull is another word, and uninteresting is the third word. When I see these three words just describing homework, I'm going to believe. Many people will believe, the students are bored because of the homework, because it's boring, dull, and uninteresting. They hate it. When I hate something, I can describe it with one word, but describing it with three words is very effective. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, about 5 ways of persuading or persuasive technique that's used in our essays. Okay, well, let's go back to our slides. What is this? This is a sample plan that you will have in your exam for the persuasive essay. First, you should have what we call introduction. And in the introduction, you put the main idea. What are you talking about? Like smoking, internet, television, food, breakfast, whatever the topic is. And then you have 3 paragraphs. These 3 paragraphs are for the 3 reasons you are going to give the reader to persuade him, to convince him with your idea that you put in the introduction. And it's better that you write the introduction, the main idea, and try to list the 3 reasons just in prayer. Okay, and each paragraph will deal with just one reason out of these 3 reasons you are dealing with in the persuasive essay. This is for reason 1, 2, 3. And I think after seeing, if you arrange your ideas in a good way, it will be very persuasive. And in the conclusion, you are trying to make a summary. The summary of the idea and just the 3 reasons. You are not forced to tell your point of view, because it's persuasive. You are trying to persuade just with one idea, so it's sure your idea. Like this, smoking is very harmful. We need from the first sentence that he is going to talk about smoking. Here, smoking affects your health, and you deal with this idea in this paragraph. Here, smoking wastes your money. You move from the health to the most important thing for people, that's money. And here, one of the most things is families. So, smoking affects your relation with your family and their health, because they become what they call passive smoker. They are affected by smoking without really smoking, because they are just taking in the smoke from your cigarettes. Then finally you write just a summary of these ideas. But here you don't write summary. You put the details of these three reasons you are using to convince the reader with your main topic that you have written in the first paragraph, the introduction paragraph. Okay? Here, sample persuasive reading passage. So we have talked about the persuasive techniques and the ways to use them and how they affect people, and we have seen many examples about it. So now we are dealing with just a real passage about persuasion and see how the writer arranged it, the reasons. What is this persuasive essay about? It's about, here you write the topic, the title, the topic you are dealing with. Look, we have school uniforms should not be required. The title states the writer's point of view. If you are going to write a title for the persuasive essay, you should, or it's advisable that you write your point of view in the title. So when the reader just starts reading the essay and starts with the title, he will know what is your idea. From the first point, from the title, we know that the writer is against. He is trying to persuade us that uniforms should not be applied to all students. Uniforms should not be forced to all students, that they should all wear uniforms. He is against this idea. Then we have the introductory paragraph, and here, before we read the introductory paragraph, in the introduction, the writer rewrites the title as a question and summarizes different opinions, okay, on the topic. Then state his or her point of view, because he is dealing with his own point of view. And you can summarize only without giving the other point of view. Just write your idea, your own idea. Should school uniforms be required? Okay, so it's like it's a kind of rhetorical questions. Some parents and educators say that uniform helps students focus on academics instead of fashion, because in schools you have to study. But if you are disturbed to something else like fashion and looking at people and your friends, in class wearing very different clothes, and oh, this man is wearing better than me, this is a new one. So you are not focusing on your academics. Others believe that kids should have the freedom to choose what they wear to school. After considering both sides, I strongly believe that uniforms should not be required. So you can just write your idea, that what side you are with. Here, when the first paragraph, the second paragraph is giving us reasons. This is the second paragraph. Okay. The writer provides more detail about the opposing point of view. Some parents and teachers think that letting kids wear what they want is a recipe for trouble. because if you just let them choose, they will choose whatever they like, and this may not go with your ideas or the school ideas, and this may cause even more money. So he is against this. Without uniform, they say kids will focus on clothes instead of schoolwork. There will be pressure to buy expensive clothes. You are not going just to buy the uniform. You have to buy the expensive clothes they need, which many families cannot offer. For this reason, some people insist that uniforms are necessary. This is one idea that is against. I disagree. Starting from here, he is dealing with his own idea. He is trying to put his idea in action. There will be always distractions. Kids should be encouraged and trusted to focus on their schoolwork, or they will never learn to be responsible. Give them the clothes they need and give them the responsibility, and they should learn to bear responsibility and focus on their schoolwork. This is the idea of the writer. Or they will never learn to be responsible. Uniforms are not free. Actually, they are not free. You buy them also. If families are spending money, they should be able to choose the clothes they buy. Also, uniforms interfere with self-expression. Sometimes uniforms are in colors that I do not like, or even in a style that I do not like to wear. Requiring uniforms sends a message that all kids are the same. When they use uniforms, they are saying that all kids are, but actually this is not true. Not all the kids are not all the same, because they are different. They have many different personalities. If schools want kids to be themselves, they should not force all students to dress alike. They are not, because they are not really alike. For all of these reasons, school uniforms should not be required. If teachers and principals want to have a say about students' clothes, they should consider school dress code. That way, kids would have an opportunity to choose what to wear, while adults would have an opportunity to set limits. So, he is trying to say, okay, you are going to have uniforms, so just let parents choose, and they put limits for their students, but not just one thing. Okay? Now, if we look closely at this passage, he is trying to persuade us that uniform is not a good thing to have, and he uses many techniques that we have already used in our lesson today. Now, we look again at our objects and say what we have already done. We introduce the persuasive and the argumentative idea. We concentrate or focus more on the persuasive. We discuss ways of persuasion used in the advertisements, and we scan the persuasive passage about the uniforms and how he used these techniques in the passage to persuade us that uniforms should not be forced on students. So thank you for listening, and hope to see you again in the near future. Thank you.